Sir, very good morning to one and all present here. And today's morning session, the resource person is Dr. B. Hemakumar, Assistant Professor from Pondicherry Engineering College, Pondicherry. I am very happy to introduce him. Dr. Hemakumar is having total experience of 14.5 years in teaching, and he has published more than 13 journals, and he has attended national conference 8 numbers and more than 10 international conferences he has participated. He is a member in various professional societies like life member in ISTE, life member in Biomedical Engineering Society of India, life member in Instrument Society of India, associate member in Institution of Engineers, member in Society of Biomaterials and Artificial Organs, and member in Society for Tissue Engineering and Regenerative Medicine. I am very happy to invite him to the session on timers and counters instruction set in PLC. I hand over the session to Dr. Hemakumar. So Hemakumar sir, welcome and please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Professor. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you very much. Hope everyone has installed this software. Already Sarah has shared you the software WPL Soft. Okay, Sarah shared this particular software. Everyone is able to see my screen, blackboard, and my voice is audible. Is my voice audible and they are able to see my blackboard?
Audible. Yes, sir, it's audible and we are able to see that.
Okay, thank you. So actually this WPL Soft comes from Delta PLC actually. So actually we have in our college, we have this Delta PLC and we are using this WPL Soft. So I thought we could have a practical demo session kind of to use with timers and counters. Fine. So you need to install that software, WPL software. I'll show you. Fine. Now, basically, first we'll see today's topic is timers and counters. So first we'll have a basic intro on this. What is a timer? What is a counter? I want people to interact. So can you please tell me what is the difference between a timer and what is a counter? Can just answer, can just type in. So what is the difference between a timer and a counter? So the chat window is open. I want you to type in, or you can unmute and say what is the difference between a timer and a counter? Are they essentially the same or are they different? If it is different, in what way it is different?
Counting வந்து number of objects count பண்ணி suppose 10 கவுண்ட்னா 10 கவுண்ட்க்கு அப்புறம் சிக்னல் கொடுக்கும்.
ஓகே.
டைமிங் வந்து நம்ம டைம் செட் பண்ண வரைக்கும் அந்த process போகணும். half an hourனா half an hour வரைக்கும் அந்த process போயிட்டு கட் ஆகணும். இதுதான் டைம் இருக்கும் கவுண்டர்.
Thank you sir. Good name sir?
Saravanan sir.
Saravanan. Thank you Mr. Saravanan. So that's the basic difference between a timer and a counter. So timer is a one which is going to just a minute. Okay, thank you. So timer is basically which is going to initiate. It is initiated. Once it is initiated, it is going to count. Okay. So normally timers we use it for delays, real-time clocks. Okay. For all these purposes, we use timers. As Saravanan sir told, counters is for counting objects. Suppose you want to identify how many persons are in a room or how many objects crossed a conveyor belt. You can just go for a counting. Okay. So the fundamental difference between a timer and a counter is, as clearly mentioned by Saravanan sir, counter requires continuous input. Okay. So each time you give an input, it is going to count. Again, you give an input, it is going to count. Again, you give an input, it is going to count, and it goes on. Whereas a timer, you need the first start alone. you need to start once. Okay, after that it is going to automatically count. So that's the difference between a timer and a counter. Fine. So now as far as this particular software is concerned, we have just a minute. Okay. So as far as this particular WPL soft is concerned, we have actually two, basically in all PLC, if you take, you have TMR, that's a timer, normal timer will be there. In additional, in WPL soft, we have something called as T timer and S timer. Okay. So this is a special timer and a teaching timer. These are all extra timers that are available in WPL soft. First, we'll see two basic timers. You have basically two timers. One is an on delay timer and second one is an off delay timer. Okay. So first we'll open WPL soft and we'll see a basic timer first. Then I'll just come back to the types of timers. Okay. I'm just opening up. Just a minute. Okay. So I'll just open up my WPL software. Okay. Oh, it's the screen is visible. Okay. Now I'll just open up. This is the way initially once you start, you're going to open a new project. Okay. So file, you have a new project. I'm just giving a new project. So I'll just give a name for my project, say on delay timer. That's the name of the project. These things we need not actually bother. This will be bothered only when you are interfacing with your hardware. Okay, here I'm going to just show you only the simulation part. You're not going to take the hardware at all. So this depends upon the type of the model of the PLC. I'm not going to touch. This is irrespective of the type, it is going to work fine. So I'll just give a OK. So this is my ladder mode. Okay, here is the point where I'm going to type my ladder diagram. So we know ladder diagram are basically you have different rungs. Okay, here you have actually all the controls that are available here. You have the NO contact, NC contact. Okay, there's a rising edge trigger, falling edge trigger, and you have application instructions out. So here in the application instruction, the shortcut is F6. All the timers, counters, everything will come under application instruction. This is your output coil. Okay, and all these things are the basic things. So first we'll see a simple timer. Okay, I'm just going to use normally open contact first. So normally inputs will be given a designation X. Okay, output coils will be given a designation Y. Okay, apart from this, you also have memory contacts, you have timer contacts, you have counter contacts. Fine. Now as of now, I'm just giving an input H0. Okay, this is my start. I'll just put a comment if you want, just for understanding start. So this, as you move your mouse over that particular thing, it will tell you what is the purpose of that particular one. Okay, now I have given a start button. I'm going to use a timer now. So to initiate a timer, I have to go into my application instruction. Okay, application instruction. From here we have to choose our timer, but we can just type in TMR. Once I type in TMR, I'll get timer. Okay, so how to configure this timer? So here you have this help window, yellow. You can just click on it. It will actually land you in the help window. Is the help window visible? Is the help window visible to all?
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So TMR is a 16-bit timer. You can see the S1 is the actual timer number you're choosing. Fine. And timer number will vary from 1 to how many timers you require. It depends. And you have to give what is the value. Okay. So now we'll see how to give a value for the timer. So first I'm going to choose the T, that is T0. This is the first timer I'm choosing. I'm giving the value T0. Okay. And I choose the time duration. Say I want to design for a 3 second. If I want to design for a 3 second, I have to give 30 here. If I want to design for a 3 second, suppose you design for a 5 second, you have to give 50. Okay, so in the order of seconds. So I've given a 30, which indicates that this is a delayed timer for 30 seconds. Okay, I just give a OK. So my timer is now ready. Okay, now what I need to do is that once the timer reached 3 seconds, I have to activate the output I. Okay, so what I'll do is that I'll use another no contact. I'll just use the timer pin. T0 is the timer. Okay, I'll just put for our reference, it is the on delayed timer. On delayed timer. Fine. So I have given T0. Now I'll just give an output coil. My output is Y0. Fine. This is my output. If you want, we can give a comment. So output is Y0. That's it. Okay. So what the program basically does is, as soon as I press the start, the timer will start. Timer will run for 3 seconds. After 3 seconds, this T0 will become on. Once this T0 becomes on, your output is going to be enabled. That's the basic operation we are going to do. Now, to run this program, first you need to give a proper ending. So you have an instruction called ladder to instruction. The shortcut is Control F7. I just pressed on this Control F section, so it will give an end line automatically. Then you have the simulator part. We are going to do the simulation only. So I'm going to press the simulator. Now my simulation is going to start. Now you have to write this program to PLC. So I'll just give write to PLC. Okay. And here is the option. You have online mode. I'll just click on online mode. And then you have to run the simulation. Okay. So I have to run the simulation. Now the simulator is in run mode. Okay, what are the things I did? I'll just repeat afterwards. Now I'll just go to this button. I'm going to start this one. As soon as I start, you'll be able to see, you can see the timer value. Initially it is in 0. It is in 0. It will go for 3 seconds. It will go for 3, that it will count from 0 to 30. Immediately after 30, we'll see what happens. So now you see the timer is running up to 30 seconds. After 30, your T0 becomes high and your Y0 output becomes high. Okay, this is a simple on delay timer. This is a simple on delay timer. Just I'll stop the simulator. I'll show you the process how to simulate. Okay, basically how to simulate that process alone. I'll show you. First thing, you need to give the code to instruction. Control F7 is a shortcut. I need to give the code to instruction. Switch on the simulator. That's the second step. Third step is write to PLC. Fourth step is online mode. Fifth step is run. So as soon as you run, the program will be in run mode. We can able to test whether the program is working or not. Okay. So after 30, your output is fine. Okay. This is a simple timer based program. Okay. So this is called as an on delay timer. This is an on delay timer. Now I'll just tell you what is an off delay timer. Okay. I'll just come back. So what happened in an online timer, on delay timer is, so first you add your switch. The switch is H0. The switch is H0. Okay. So immediately after the switch is pressed, after 3 seconds delay, after 3 seconds, after switch press pannadhula 3 seconds kappuram, my output will become high. Okay. So this is governed by the timer. This is governed by the timer. What the timer does is, so here you have the timer. So after I have pressed, it will run for 3 seconds. After 3 seconds, your T0 will become high and your output will go to high. This is an example of an on delay timer. This is an example of an on delay timer. Okay. So next we'll see a off delay timer. What is the off delay timer? What I mean by off delay timer is, first I will switch it on. I have a switch. Okay. So I'll just put it as a H1. I have a switch. Fine. So the switch is on and off. After the switch is pressed off, okay, at this time my output should also be I. My output should also be I. After I switch off, H1 off பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறமேட்டா ஒரு particular delay, say ஒரு 5 seconds அப்புறமேட்டா my output should go off. Okay, so switch press பண்ணும்போது output கிடைக்குது. Once I switch off, up to 5 seconds till the output will be available. After 5 seconds only my output should be off. Okay, so here we have the timer coming into picture at this point. Okay, here after 5 seconds the timer is going to get activated. This is going to switch off my process. Fine. So this is my switch H1. Once I press the switch 1, my output is going to be on. After I remove the switch, that is I disable my switch, after 5 seconds my output should be off. This is called as an off delay timer. So we'll see how to do this off delay timer using our thing. Fine. I'll just take you back to the OBL soft, WPL soft. Fine. Now I'm going to add this will actually, we can keep it, there's no issues. I'm going to take up, I'll just here I'll include a row. See, I have an option to insert a row. I'm going to insert a row here. So I'm going to use a different switch now. So I'll use H1. Okay, H1. This is also start for the second operation. I'll use H1. Okay, and I'll use another output coil. Say I'll use F7. So this time I'm going to use Y1. This is another output coil, H1 and Y1. Okay, now I'm going to I'll add one more rung, insert a row. Okay, now I am going to add a auxiliary contact. Okay, so I'll use NO. I'll use Y1. Okay, so this is an auxiliary contact I have added. So to connect these two, you can use this one. Here you have in F8, you have a contact. So I'm just connecting these two, H1 and Y1. Fine. Okay. Now I'll just insert a row. Here I'm going to introduce NO. Okay. Y1. I'm introducing this NO, and this H1 I'm going to put it as okay, H1, and I'm going to initiate a timer. F6. I'm going to introduce a timer TMR. This time I'm going to use T1, another timer T1. Okay, and I'm going to use it for 5 seconds as I told earlier. So it is 50. If it is 5 seconds, it is 50. So I'm just giving a okay. Okay, so this timer should affect my output. Okay, so this timer should, so as soon as I press this switch H1, my Y1 will be on. Okay, so after I switch off my H1, via this contact your output will be available. But after 5 seconds, I want my output should be off. So what I do is that I add a timer contact here. Okay, so I'll use an NC. So I'll use timer 1. Just give okay. Okay, now by default this is NC, normally closed. So by default, when you press this switch, your output is going to be on. And anytime you switch off, it is not going to influence. So if you switch on your H1, your output will be via the auxiliary contact, it will be on. So immediately what happens is that as soon as you switch off, okay, so what happens, this will become, so your timer will get enabled. And after 50 seconds, your timer will off. We'll see in action. So first I'll just give a code instruction. I'll say switch on the simulator I'll go to write to PLC. Okay, so I'll just go to online mode, run. Okay, now it is in run mode. I will switch on, this is my switch for off delay timer. So I'll click this one, set on. My output is on now. My output is on, fine. Now, as soon as I press this particular thing off, okay, you can see the timer has started. It will run for 55 seconds. Immediately after 5 seconds, this will be open, so your output will be off. Okay, I'll just run it again. So I'm set on, my output is on now. My output is on. You can see the output is on. Okay, so now as soon as I press off, I set off, your timer will be starting. It will give a 5-second delay. After 5 seconds, your output will be cut off. Fine. So this is a off delayed timer. This is an off delay timer. Fine. So just a minute. Okay, I'll come back to my screen. So this is an off delay timer. So we saw some basic two timers. One is an on delay timer and second one is an off delay timer. Okay. Now we'll do some interesting examples. Okay. So you can also try on these examples. So some basic applications using our timers. Okay. Now first we'll construct that part. Then we'll actually do those things in our actual simulator. So for constructing, what I'm going to do is, so this is a logic. Whenever I have a start button, so this is our first example we're going to see. So whenever I press the start button, okay, so it should turn on heater. It should turn on a heater. It should turn on a heater and a stirrer. Okay, it should turn on a heater and a stirrer. Okay, now if you press the stop button, heater should be immediately off. But the stirrer should be off after 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, my stirrer should be off. Okay, so this is the logic. We're going to work. So once you start, both the heater and the stirrer will be on. Once you stop, so you require one button for starting, one button for stopping. As soon as you stop, your heater should be off first. Okay, stirrer should be off after 10 seconds. We'll see how to accomplish this one. Fine, I'll just create a rung. So for the start, I'm going to use H0. So this is my start. Okay, and by default, initially stop should be disabled. So that's why I put a NC contact here. This is my stop. I'll just put H1. This is my stop. Okay, so this should be actually connected to your heater. Okay, at the same time, I should also have a stirrer. Okay, so both heater and stirrer should be on. Fine, but my stirrer should be off பண்ணும்போது heater உடனே off ஆயிடும். Okay, if I press the stop, heater will be off immediately, but my stirrer will be off only after the time duration. So I use a contact for my timer. T0. Okay, now I'll go for the H1, that is my stop button. As soon as I press the stop button, my heater will be off. But for my timer, I need to define. So I'll use a timer. Okay, so I'll use a timer, say for 10 seconds. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so as per this program, as soon as I press the start button, your heater, these two are NC. So your heater and stirrer will be on. As soon as I press the stop button, this will open and heater will be off immediately. Because I enabled this one, the timer will initiate. Once the timer is finished, this particular will be open and your stirrer will be off. Okay. So now we'll see this particular thing in action. I'll just take you to the WPL soft. Okay. I'll just open a new project. Fine. So this project, I'll just put it as a heater stirrer. Okay. So example, or I'll just put example 1. Example 1. I'll just give an example 1. Okay. So I can just expand this part so that it is big. Okay. Now I'll just give a first H0. H0 is the start button. Start is the start button. For stop button, I'll use a NC. So I need H1. Here I'm going to use it as a stop button. So this is my stop button. Okay. So I'll use the output coil. My output is Y0. I'll just rename it as heater. There's a comment. Okay, it's not renaming actually, it's a comment. So if you just move your mouse over this thing, you will be able to see this particular thing. Okay, so this is your start button, this is your stop button, and this is your heater. Okay, now we'll go for the second run. So second run, I'm going to add Y1, a coil. Okay, so this Y1 is going to be my stirrer. Y1 is going to be my stirrer. Fine. And this I'm going to connect here. I'm going to have a switch. I'll use NC. NC. I'm going to name it as timer. Okay. So T0 is a timer. So I'll just give OK. So this is an NC. So we have to connect these rungs now. So I'll just use fine. So here you can see F8. Okay. So F8 is the thing. Okay. Now I'll just click here. I use my F9. So now the connection is made. So I'll use F8. Now we have the connection via T0. Sorry. So this part I need to delete now. So this should come after the stop button. I'll just I'll take this one. I'll make connection from this point. This should come after the before your stop button. Okay, before the stop button. So I'll make the contacts. Okay, so this my first rung is ready. So this is my start button, this is my stop button, and this is my heater, and this is my stirrer. Fine. Now I'll go for the second rung. So this is my stop button. So this is my stop button. I've added a stop button here. Fine. And I'm going to initialize my timer. So I have to go to application instructions. I'll just open up TMR. Okay, timer. And I'll just take T. Thus I'm going to use timer 0. Okay, so I have to mention the duration. Okay, this is for say a 10-second delay. So I'm just giving it as 100. I'll just give a OK. Fine. Now the program is complete. So when I press the start, your heater as well as the stirrer is going to be on. As soon as I press the stop, first my heater will be turned off. After a 10 seconds delay, my stirrer will be turned off. This is the logic of the program. We'll try to simulate this particular program first. So first I'll just code execution. I'll switch on the simulator. I'll write the code to PLC. I'll make it in online mode. I'll run the simulation. Okay. Now I'll just give the input for my switch, start on. So as soon as I give the input, you can see the heater as well as the stirrer, both are on. Heater and stirrer, both are on. Okay. Now this is my stop button. So as soon as I give stop button, my heater will be first turn off. So this will run for 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, my stirrer will be off. That's it. Okay. So this is a simple application of your timer. This is a simple application of your timer, wherein I am just designing a process wherein it moves up to the certain part and it is getting off. Okay, that's a simple timer application where we can use. Fine. Are you able to simulate in parallel? Is anyone doing it in parallel? Just for knowing. If you're not doing, it's not an issue. If anyone is able to follow and they are doing in parallelly, I could just be in sync with them. Is there anyone doing online as of now? Well, it gives a message that you are not downloaded. Fine, no issues. Okay. I think no. Okay, thank you. Fine. Hope you're able to follow what I'm sharing with you all. The logic, you're able to understand how we are using the timer. Do you have any queries as of now? How to use this timer, basic timer by using this particular software, WPLSoft. The software is completely freeware. The software is completely freeware. You can download it. It will work without any restrictions. Further, you have an option in WPLSoft. If you have the Delta PLC, you can interface in real time and get the output. Fine. Okay.
Sir, one more queries.
Yes.
Sir, actually,
Yes,
in
sir.
a timer, we have an timing TT bit and enable bit and done bit.
Okay.
Okay, you are using only done bit.
Okay.
We can use TT means what will you do?
That depends upon the application, sir.
Okay.
I'll just explain it later.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay. Fine. So I'm not going into the internal configuration, how to enable registers. I'm actually looking for practical applications wherein we can use this kind of timer. Fine. So now we'll just see basically the timers that are used in your Delta PLC, particularly the PLC that I am dealing with, does not have the retentive nature. Now we're going to simulate a retentive kind of thing. Okay. So retentive means what do you mean by retentive? So we saw that timer switched on, it went till the maximum count. Okay. Now anytime if I switch off, it will again start from the initial count alone. It will again start from the initial count. Fine. But rather I want to start from the point where I left. Suppose it is counting from 1 to 50, up to 30 it has counted. I'll stop. Again, if I start the counter, it has to start from 31. Okay. So that feature is basically not available in the basic configuration. What we'll do is that we'll try to do an operation like whatever be the timer status, we'll move it into a register. We have a lot of index registers, different registers that are available. We'll move that into a register, and from that register you'll retrieve the actual thing and we'll work upon. Okay, that's the way we're going to do it. I'll open a new project. I'll just first switch off the simulator. Okay, I'll open a new project. Okay, so this is a retentive timer. Retentive timer. Okay, so I'll just rename. Okay, we'll see how to use a retentive timer. So what is the idea is you need to have a process. It is running. If you interrupt the task at a particular point, it will stop. And again, if you start it, it has to continue from the same time. That's the idea. Fine. So for that, I'm going to use my contact H0. This is for my start. Okay. Suppose you didn't give comment, you want to give a comment, you can give edit device comment. You can give a comment at this point. Start, I'm just giving a comment, fine. So this is my start, fine. Now I'm going to initialize a timer. I'm going to initialize a timer, okay. Okay, and I'm going to give a value, say some, I want to visualize C, so I'll just, because it will be very fast, so I'm giving a 10-second delay. So after 5 seconds, I'll just stop it, and again we'll resume and see how the operation goes on. Okay, now as soon as I press the switch on, my timer will be running for 10 seconds. My timer is running for 10 seconds. I use the same H0 contact. Okay, what I do is that whenever I press off, okay, so it will again restart from the original position. So what I need to do is that what is the current position, I will save it into a register. Whatever be the current position, I will save it into a register. So I'll use application instruction. Okay, so move. Okay, so I want to move T0 to, this is my value T0. I'll just move it to D0. I'll just moving that value of timer into a register D0. Okay, I'll just give a OK. So this value will be moved into the D0. Okay, I'll use an NC here. This is my H0. Okay, now I'll retrieve back whatever the data that is available back into my timer. So again, I'll use move. So I'll just take from my D0 to T0. So D0 to T0. Okay, so I'll just give OK. So I retrieve the back from that value. From that, I have to start my timer. So I'll just give a T0. Okay, the timer is initialized, and this will activate my output. Okay, so after everything is over, you need to reset both. Okay, we'll reset both the T0 and D0 values. So for that, I'll use a separate reset switch. I'll use H1 as my reset switch. I'm using the reset switch, and I'll use application RST. Okay, that's the reset. So I'm going to reset T0 as well as D0. So reset T0 as well as I'm going to reset D0. RST I'm going to do for D0. Both these are reset. Okay, fine. So I'll just connect. Fine. So this is my logic now. Okay, so we'll see in action what happens. So first I will execute this code. I'll switch on the simulator and I'll write to PLC in online mode. I will run. Okay, now as soon as I press this one, your timer will be on. I have to switch it off after 5 seconds manually. Okay, I'm switching on, so it's running. Say around 50 seconds, I will off. Okay, my timer is off. What happens? See, this value of 62 gets stored. The 62 gets stored. It is again retrieved back. So as soon as I press again on, it will start from 62 and move up to 100. After 100th bit, your output will be getting on. This is called as retentive timer. So what we do basically is to simulate the retentive behavior. We try to store the current value of the timer into a register, and we retrieve back and we display it. Use it in the timer. That's the purpose. Okay. So whatever be the current value, it will be stored in your thing, and it will be retrieved back. So at the end, you will reset once. So we'll go for resetting. So thereby both the T0 and D0 is initialized. Okay, it is reset to the value. So this is how you can simulate a retentive timer. Suppose you want to, whenever a process is interrupted in between, you want to continue from that same process, then you can use a retentive timer. Fine. Okay. Now I'll just go to counters. Just take a counter. Okay. So basically, as you all told, we have a basic counter. A counter counts for a particular input. A counter basically counts for a particular input. So whenever an input is available, it's going to count. Fine. So you have actually two types of counters. Basically, it's your up counter and you have a down counter. We have a up as well as down counter. Okay. We'll see how to use a basic counter, and we'll see some typical examples where we can use a counter. Okay. So let's just stop this simulation. I'm going to open a new project. So we can design a simple counter. Okay. Fine. So I'm going to use the input switch. Okay. So I'm just giving a start button for the counter. Start for the counter. And I'm initializing the counter. So I use CNT. CNT. Okay. So C0 is the counter we are enabling. Okay. So here we have to specify what is the maximum count value. What is the maximum count value we are initializing? Okay. Say it is, say I'll just count it for 5. I'll just count it for 5. So here it means that what is the count value? What is the count value? Okay. I'll just give a OK. Fine. So it will count for up to 5 objects. After the 5th object, immediately in the 5th object encounter, I'll just use C0. That's the counter we have used. Okay. So I will enable an output. Output is energized. Why not? Fine. So that's it. Now we'll just run this program. I will use the simulator. Write to PLC and enable online mode. Okay, I'll just run. Okay. So counter, see, we saw in the previous case itself, timer, as soon as it is enabled, it is getting run on. Okay. Whereas a counter, only for each input, it will be counting. We'll see. I'll just see set on. Just a minute. Okay, so set on. So the first count. The first count. I off. Second count. You can see the K2 is changing. This is the second count. Off. Again, this third count. Off. So up to 5 it will work off. Okay, I'll just set off, and fifth one. Okay, as soon as it reaches a 5 count, your C0 is enabled and your output coil is energized. Okay, this is a simple counter, but a problem with the counter is it cannot count above that value. Okay, even if I give on after that, I'll off and again on, it cannot count because the maximum count value is 5. So we need a provision inside our program such that we can reset the timer. Okay, so you need a provision to reset your timer. So we'll introduce that provision. So I'll use another switch. I'll first switch off the simulator. So here I will add insert a row, and I'm going to use a reset switch here. This is my reset switch. Okay, and I'll use a reset. Okay, so RST. I'm going to reset the counter 0. Okay, so reset counter is enabled. Now we'll see the program. So okay, now the program is on mode. We'll see, I will give inputs. So the first count, second. So see, as soon here the same register is getting shared here. So C0 is also getting updated over here. So I'll just set off and set on third, fourth, fifth. Okay, immediately the fifth come, this is going to be output is enabled. Now after that you cannot give input. For that only we have the reset button. So I will reset this one. So the count becomes 0. The count becomes 0. Now you can switch it off and switch it on. Okay, this I'll set off, and this I can set off, and I can start counting again. Sorry. So I can just proceed. Okay, so this is a way you can reset your counter and you can use it for your application. Now we'll see a practical application using counter. A practical application using counter. Okay. So the application we are going to see is, say the scenario is like a conveyor belt. Okay. We are going to pack some 12 items into a box. We are going to pack some 12 items into a box. That's the idea actually. Going to pack 12 items in a box. And we are going to count, 2 counters are going to be employed. One is for counting the number of items to be packed in the box. Second counter is for the number of boxes. Okay, so the rule is like this. So it has to count the number of box items, 12. Okay, it has to count for the 12 items. Okay, once the 12 items is reached, that it's equal to 12. Okay, it should issue an alarm signal. It should issue an alarm signal, and it should indicate to pack the box. This should give an indication to pack the box. So that will be taken as first pack. Okay, at the same time it will reset the counter. This counter has to be reset. This counter is reset, and this counter will count, another count will be counting the number of packets. Okay, so this is the count. So it will count for 12. The first counter, this will be say C0, this will be C1. So once it counts for 12, once it reaches 12, you need to enable an alarm. At the same time, with the alarm, your packet count will be enabled. At the same time, this counter will be reset. This counter will be reset. That's the idea. Okay, so how to achieve this? We'll see first with the logic here itself. So first I will use a initial start switch H0, and I will make my counter for 12. Okay, I'll my counter C0 for 12 counts. Okay, so as soon as you got 12, so 12th itself it is enabling, so better I can just put it as 13. Okay, 12th itself it is enabled, so I'm just putting it as 13. Okay, so K13. So once it exceeds 12, that is for 1 bots. Okay, immediately this comes, it should give an alarm. So I'll just give an alarm. Okay, I'll just give an alarm, will connect it to a relay. Okay, the same time, I need to reset. Okay, for that I'll use a separate switch. I will reset my CO. I'll reset my CO, and this alarm output will start the second counter. It will start the second counter. Say I'll just put 5 boxes are there. These are 5 boxes. Okay, so this is the logic. So as soon as I click on this one, this will be closed and it will start to count. Okay, up to 12. For visualizing, we'll use 3. Okay, so that it will be easier for us to see. Okay, and once this is enabled, your alarm is going to switch on. Okay, and this alarm is going to reset your counter C0 as well as, so here you can use the Y0 itself. It will reset the counter, and at the same time this will be your C0 will be initialized, reset. Okay, we'll see how this is in action. I'll use this one. So already you have a part of the counter here, so I'll use the same program here also. So H0, it is C0, it is for 5. Okay, so C0 I'm just giving to Y0. This is my reset part. Okay, I'll just add a row here. Okay, so this is my Y0 coil. Okay, and I'm going to start another counter. I'm going to use another counter C and T. Okay, so I'm going to use C1 and sorry, C1 counter 1. This is for, say, this is also 5. This also I'll have 5 boxes. Fine. So this is for bots counting, and this is for each bots how many items. Say I'll just put 3 items. Each box has 3 items. Totally 5 boxes. Fine. Now we'll see how the program goes. So I can even, I'll just give Y1. Sorry, Y0. Y0. Okay. So as per this logic, so as soon as you switch on, for each input of H0, it is going to count. Okay, it is going to count. Exactly after third count, your output is going to be enabled. Once your output is enabled, it will reset the counter, and this particular thing will start counting. That's the idea. Second boxes will start counting. Fine. So we'll see the execution of this program. So I'll use a simulator. Write to PLC, enable online mode, and start the simulation. Okay, so now we'll go for set on. Why is there some problem? This is a different thing. Saving, fine. So Okay. So this first count. So off. Then we have the second count. Off. Third. Okay. Immediately after third, you can see it is very fast. Immediately on the third count, this was enabled, your Y0 became enabled, Y1 actually immediately reset. Okay. So for that purpose, what we'll do is that we'll stop the simulation. We want to see in action what is happening. So one thing is I will increase the count value to say 4, 1 more than the actual one, so that you can see what is happening. And second thing, I'll use a different reset switch. I'll use H0. H0 is available already, so I'll use H1. H1 as a reset switch. Fine. Now we'll be able to visualize what is happening. Okay. I'll just set on. So the first count, second, third, fourth. Okay. Immediately the fourth one, you can see it reached K4. Your output is I. Output is high in the sense alarm signal is enabled. Okay. And this box has been counted. Now for this next operation, this is for visualizing. Okay. I am resetting the count. My count is again reset. Okay. This is for visualization alone. Else it will run automatically. This will run automatically as soon as you initialize, the bots will run. Okay. So I'll just go to this one, set off. Again, I'll set on, off, on. So once it reaches 4, your package should be, bot should be 2. Okay, now my package is 2. Okay, so this is a simple scenario wherein you can use these things. Fine. Okay. Now we'll actually take another example, say of a batch process. Thing is that you're going to do the logic. Okay, we'll go for first we'll do a simple logic, not with timer and counter. We're going to do a very simple logic first. Then we'll go for a real process with thing. Fine. Okay. So this is the process I'm going to give it to you. Just you need to try and just share me the logic. It's like staircase lighting. We know about staircase lighting. Okay. Staircase lighting. This is not a timer at all. We're not going to use any timer at this point. So idea is just for you to do a basic program. So I have a bulb here. Okay. Say this is a staircase. This is intermediate. This bulb position is intermediate. Here I have my switch 1. Here I have my switch 2. Okay. So what is required is first option, first case. That is when I use switch 1, when I press on, this is my bulb. Okay. My bulb should be on. When I press off, my bulb should be off. This is the first thing. Using switch 1, you are controlling the bulb. Second one, using switch 2, you have to control the bulb. So if you give 1, it should be 1. If you give 0, it should be 0. Third one, switch 1 you're on. That is, you are climbing up, you press on. Once you reach the top, okay, so your bulb is on actually. Okay, your bulb is on. When you press switch 1 bulb, it is on. As soon as you press switch 2, this should become off. Okay, so you're climbing, you're switching on and you're climbing, the bulb is glowing. You climb up here you press 1, again the switch, immediately this bulb should be off. Similarly, vice versa. So using switch 2, you make the bulb on. Using switch 1, you make the bulb off. Okay. So I want you to come out with a logic how this works. Okay. You need to come out with a logic and share me now. Just take a paper. Just take a paper and try to work out the logic. I'll share you in few moments. I'll just share you the logic in few moments. Just I want you to try how this will work. So basically you're going to control your output bulb via both the switches. Okay. So that is going to happen. That I'll just give you the hint. So H1, H0. Okay. This I'll just use memory contact M0. Either H1 or H2. Either H1 or H2. If you press, it is going to on. Where I'm going to give this connection is, this is my M0. Okay. So M0 is going to my Y0. That's fine. This logic will work for if I press switch 1. This is my switch 1. This is my switch 2. If I press switch 1, this is going to be enabled. This enabled my output. Else if I press switch 2, this is going to enable, and here my output is. So this output is controlled. This is my bulb. This output is controlled by my switch 1 and switch 2. Now I need you to work for the third logic. Okay. What should be added and where, so that if I press in switch 1, switch 2 should be off. Using switch 2, you can make it off. If I use switch 2 using switch 1, I can make it off, the reverse. What modification I need to make in this one to enable that logic? I want you to work out a piece of paper or so, and you can just share. Got some logic?
ஹலோ
Yes, sir.
சார் M0க்கு ஒரு என்சி எடுத்து லேச்சிங் கொடுக்கணும் சார்.
M0க்கு
ஒரு என்சி எடுத்து லேச்சிங் கொடுத்துட்டோம்னா சரியாருங்க சார் பல்பு.
M0க்கு இருக்கு. ஓகே. This is your M0 contact actually. Okay.
பல்புக்கு வந்து ஒரு லேச்சிங் கொடுத்துட்டோம்னா ஆன் ஆயிக்கும் சார்.
பல்புக்கு இதே M0வா? M0 directly is connected to the bulb only already. M0 is already connected to the bulb only. This is my M0. I'll take you to the WPL soft. I'll just put staircase. Okay. So first I'll use the first switch. H0 is my switch 1. This is my first switch. And I give a auxiliary motor contact. Okay. So M0. Fine. So I have my H0 and M0. So or else I can just name it for the easy purpose H1. Okay. So I'll use another switch. This is my second switch, H2. This is my switch 2. Fine. So this is my switch 1. I'll just take it. Switch 1 is this comment. So this is my switch 1. This is my switch 2. Okay. And I'll just give a latch. Okay. Now I'll just take M0. Okay. This is my memory contact. Here I'm just giving the bulb output. Y0 is my bulb. Y0 is my bulb. Okay. So as of now, we'll see what is the operation. I'll just simulate it. Write this to PLC. Enable online mode and start the simulation. Okay. So I'll just enable the switch on. So my motor is on. If I want, I set off. This is using the first switch. Now this is the second switch. I set on, this is on. And if I off, it is off. My question is, now I have enabled using the first switch. Now as soon as I enable this particular switch, this Y0 should be off. As soon as I make H2 on, my Y0 should go to 0. So what is the logic? What logic has to be made, change, so that if both are off, the output is going to be off eventually. But my idea is when switch 1 is on and you enable switch 2, automatically your output should be off, and vice versa. How to accomplish this?
After M0, we use a normally closed contact with X1 and X2.
Okay, you use a normally closed contact with H1 and H2 both.
Yes.
Okay, we'll see it, sir. Okay, normally closed contact of H1 and normally closed contact of H2. Okay, so we'll see how it goes. So as per this, so H1 is enabled, this one is cut off. We'll see.
It's wrong. It's wrong.
It's wrong. It's, this both will be cut off. Any one will be on.
Yes, yes, yes. Anyone is on.
Yeah.
Sir, repeat the condition, sir. Third condition.
Third condition, if switch 1 is on,
Okay.
The output is going to be on.
Okay.
If I use my switch 2, if I enable switch 2, my output should be off. That is, using switch 1, I'm on. Using switch 2, I'm getting it off. Again, if I on using switch 2, I will off it using switch 1.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, please.
சார் அந்த X1 X2 NC எடுத்தோம்ல சார் அது ரெண்டு
ஆமா.
parallel பண்ணிடலாம் சார்.
These two parallel.
ஆமா சார்.
Okay, we'll see it. I'll just, so I'll add a rung here. It should be in parallel with both or only this one? Only with H1. H2
Yes, sir,
should
only with X1.
only with H1. Okay. So I'll use an H2. Okay. So I'll use, so okay. So as per this logic, if H1 is on, so via H2 this will be off. Okay, I think it will make it work. We'll see it. So I'll just run the simulator. Right to the PLC and enable online mode. Okay, let's see it. Okay, so set on, the motor is on. Fine. So if I use my second switch, your output should be off. Fine, that's it. Good. Super, sir. Your name, sir?
Sir, Chandrasekhar, sir.
Chandrasekhar.
Sir,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay. So this is off. I'll use this one on. Okay. So both these switches, I'll first make this off. This also off. Sorry.
Sir,
That's it. Yes.
only one problem is there, sir.
What is it?
X1, X2 are both are on.
Yeah. In
The
that
output
case
will
also.
be off, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Both will be on. Output will be off.
Yes, sir. Okay, okay, correct, sir.
It's correct only, sir.
Okay, okay.
So in one particular position, it will be coming out. Okay. Okay, fine. So that's a most simple solution. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Okay, so that's how you can do a lot of play with this one. It will be quite interesting to work upon how to do this, all these things. Fine. Now, actually, I wanted to take you to a typical batch process. We'll see how to use a simple timer for a batch
Use
process.
register, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
Register use பண்ணி பண்ணலாமா சார்?
ரெஜிஸ்டர் யூஸ் பண்ணி பண்ணலாம்.
ஓகே.
இதே இதுல you are asking for a batch process.
கவுண்டிங் 1 கொடுத்துட்டு பண்ணலாம் இல்லீங்களா சார்?
எதுக்கு சொல்றீங்க சார்? அப்ளிகேஷன் சொல்றீங்களா?
இது சேம் அப்ளிகேஷன் சார். கவுண்டர் 1 கொடுத்துட்டு பண்ணலாம் சார். இந்த
அப்ளிகேஷன் இல்லீங்களா?
வேல்யூ ஆமா சார். சேம் அப்ளிகேஷன். கவுண்டர்
Okay, you have
good number of
ஆமா lengthy ஆவரும். ஆமா
immediately reset கொடுக்கணும்.
Yes, yes. அதுக்கு lengthy ஆவரும். அதே மாதிரி even you can use rising edge கூட யூஸ் பண்ணலாம் இதுல.
சார் எனக்கு rising edge மட்டும் தான் சார் ரொம்ப தெரியாது.
Okay, okay, okay. அது திருப்பி கொடுக்கணும். Okay, that's also will be lengthy. This is the most optimum solution. Okay, using NONC. Okay.
நான் ரிலே லாஜிக்ல இப்படி தான் சார் யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம்.
Okay, okay, sir. Nice.
அதனால எனக்கு தெரியும்.
Good, sir. Nice. Okay, so now I'll take you to the application what I wanted to share with you. So we're going to do a simple application. Fine. So the application is you're going to use a simple process. We're going to have a small tank. Okay, so I have an inlet for the tank. I have an inlet. Yes, please. Yes, sir. Okay.
No, sir, nothing.
Okay, okay, thank you. So I have an inlet. This is my inlet valve, and I have an outlet. This is my outlet valve. Okay, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to basically heat a liquid. That's the basic idea. We're going to do a heating process. Idea is first the water should inlet, and I am having 2 sensors. Okay, One is a high level sensor and second one is a low level sensor. What I need to do is, first step is I need to open this inlet valve. I need to open this inlet valve and water should be filled in. This will be enabled only when your low level sensor is enabled. That is, no water is in the tank. If the water is below this particular level, naturally this low level sensor will be enabled. That is, when the low level sensor is enabled, that is, your inlet has to be open. So inlet open. So first condition is low level sensor is high and your inlet should be open. Inlet should be open. Okay, I'll just put open and the water will be filling it. Okay. Once it is above your eye level, that is, eye level is reached, eye level is enabled. Once eye level is enabled, you need to close this open. This output in should be closed. Inlet valve should be closed. At the same time, heater should be enabled. Heater should be enabled. Okay. So maybe the heater, we can use it for some 10 seconds. For 10 seconds, the heater will be on. After 10 seconds, the heater will be off and your drain valve will be open. Your drain valve will be open and entire water is taken out. Okay, this is the idea. For this process, we are going to do a simple ladder logic program. So you have an inlet valve control, you have an outlet valve control, you have a heating coil control, you have two sensors to detect low level and high level. I'll repeat the problem statement. So whenever the level is below the low level is going to get on. As soon as it is getting on, your inlet valve is open. Your inlet valve is open and water flows in. Okay. When the water flows above your higher level, so your higher level sensor is going to get enabled. As soon as it get enables, your inlet valve is closed. Inlet valve is closed, and at the same time, the heater is switched on. The heater is switched on. So the heater works for say some 10 seconds. It is going to heat the liquid. It is going to heat the liquid. Once the heater is off, automatically it is going to open the drain valve and the drain is going to come out. Okay. So this is the operation. We are going to simulate it by using our logic. So I'll just share you the program already I have developed you. I'll just open the project. So it's a bit lengthy, so I thought I could just show you. Okay. This is the program. Okay. So here my H0 is my start valve. That is my start operation. Okay. And H3 is my stop. Whenever I want to stop, I have a control. Fine. So H1 is the LL. That is the low level. I'm using H1 and H2 is high level. So H1 is low level, H2 is high level. So Y1 is my out. Okay, Y1 is out. Y0 is my inlet valve. Inlet valve is Y0. Outlet valve is Y1 and Y2 is heater. Y2 is heater. Okay, so Y0 is inlet valve, outlet valve and heater. And H1 is my low level sensor, H2 is my high level sensor. These are my start and stop buttons. Okay, I'm using a timer with a 3-second delay. I'm using a timer with a 3-second delay. Okay, so first I'll just say, so the coding is like this. Okay, we'll see. Okay. Okay. So first we'll start the process. Okay. Now Y0 is on. You can see the Y0 is on. assuming that your liquid level is low. Okay, liquid level is low. So your output is, that is your inlet is getting filled. The tank is filling with water, inlet valve is open. The inlet valve is open. Okay. Now once the water is filled, this Y naught is out inlet. Okay. Once the water is filled, this is your eye level sensor. I'm going to enable this eye level sensor. As soon as my enabled, this output is cut off and my timer is on. By the end, the timer is on. What happened is your outlet valve is open. My outlet valve is open. Okay, I use the timer contact here and this memory contact here. Okay, so your output Y1 is on. Fine. So I'll so any point I need to switch off, I'll just use this one, this particular button to switch off the complete process. Okay, so I'll just keep it on. I'll just off this one. Sorry. Okay, so that's the complete stop. I'll repeat the process again. So this will be off by default. This your stop button is off. So I'll start the process. So as soon as I stop the process, sorry, it's very fast. Okay. I'll rerun the process. Okay, so first step is switching on the motor. Inlet valve is open. When it is reaching eye level, I'm going to switch on this particular part. So it will switch off and heater will be on for 30 seconds. Immediately after 30 seconds, your heater is going to be off and your outlet is on. That's it. Okay. So that's the end of the process. Fine. So that's it. That's it I wanted to share with you all. So myself, Hema Kumar. Okay. So as and this is my WhatsApp number. If you have any queries, you can just get back to me. And I also have a channel. Okay, I've also posted videos related to all these entities. I'll just share with you. So this is my YouTube channel. Okay, so where I've given the working of the timers and all the delay timers. Okay, so a lot of other resources will be available. Interested, you can just visit.
Sir, mobile number, sir?
Just a minute, I'll just share. My mobile number is 994492984. Yeah, okay. 449. Right. Sorry. Yeah, please. So 994492984. Okay, and this is my personal website, hemakumar.in. Professor? Sendil Arsu, sir?
Sir, சொல்லுங்க sir.
Okay. Shall we end, sir?
Any queries?
Yes, sir, please.
Participants, any queries?
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the inlet valve and the heater, the last hour example கொடுத்தீங்களா sir?
ஆமாமா sir.
அதுல அந்த சுவிட்சஸ் அவுட்புட்டோட நேம்ஸ் மட்டும் கொஞ்சம் சொல்லுங்க.
Just a minute, I'll just share. Switches என்ன சொல்றீங்க சார்?
இந்த X0 வந்துட்டு இன்லெட் வால்வோட ஸ்டார்ட்
ஆமா
பட்டன்.
ஆமா ஸ்டார்ட் பட்டன். இது வந்து டோட்டல் ப்ராசஸோட ஸ்டார்ட் பட்டன். H3 வந்து ஸ்டாப் பட்டன்.
ஜஸ்ட் மினிட். ஸ்டாப்.
எஸ் சார்.
ஓகே சார்.
H1 வந்து லிக்விட் லோ லெவல் லிக்விட். H1 வந்து லோ லெவல் சென்சார்
ஓகே.
H2 வந்து ஹை லெவல் சென்சார். ஓகே. Y நாட் வந்து இன்லெட் வால்வோட ஓபனிங். இன்லெட் வால்வ் ஓபனிங் வந்து Y0
வால்வ்
ஓபனிங்.
ஓபன்.
Y நாட். Y1 வந்து அவுட்லெட் வால்வ் ஓபன்.
ஓகே.
Y2 வந்து ஹீட்டர்
வந்து ஹீட்டர்.
ஆமா. Y1 வந்து அவுட்லெட் வால்வ், Y2 வந்து ஹீட்டர். Y2 ஹீட்டர்.
M0 சார்?
M0 வெறும் ஆக்சிலரி கான்டாக்ட் தான், அந்த மோட்டார் கான்டாக்ட். If you want, I'll share the program also, no issues. You just contact me in WhatsApp, I'll just share you the program also.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hope the experience was interesting for you, because normally I used to put PowerPoint. This time I don't want to use a PowerPoint, so I took the software directly.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, any queries from participants? Sir, Dr. Hemkumar sir, thank you very much. I think it was very useful, and actually you have given the software itself to download. Maybe staff members maybe later they download and they will check the coding and other things.
Definitely, sir. I'll get back to me if you have any queries, if you want to collaborate.
If you have any these programs are like that standard, you can just share to me. Just I will send it to I will put it in the group, sir.
Yes, whatever I've done, I can even share with you, sir.
Okay.
Written. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.